ルーン。人払いのルーンを刻んでいるだけですよ。神崎香織と申します。
Welcome back to a critique of Index. With a fight between Toma and Style 1 and done, Index now needs Kamui's assistance to complete a healing ritual. Now, full disclosure, as you may have already guessed given the length of this video, there isn't a whole lot of issues or praises that I have for episode 3. The healing ritual itself lasts almost half the runtime and I think it works fine. The timing makes sense and it fits in well with how magic is described to us. We're told magic is like a formula and the chant feels like a recipe with important conditions that have to be met. So what I'll do at the start is just expand on some of the elements mentioned in the chant itself. I should also note that these are what I could find. There may be other examples with the same names, so this might not be 100% accurate, but here goes. First up, the end of Cancer refers to the zodiac sign Cancer. In Index, the current date is the 20th of July, and Cancer lasts from June 22nd to July 22nd. The Sirius star is the brightest star in the sky. Often mistaken for the North Star, it has also been referred to as the Greater Dog Star, as it's part of the Canis Major constellation, which in Latin means Greater Dog. The Guardian of Undine is a figure from European mythology. She's a water nymph who became human and will die if her lover is unfaithful. The Angel of Helheim, however, was a bit trickier to locate. It's from Norse mythology, but I couldn't find an angel. I could only find Hel, who's a goddess, and she was the ruler of the underworld. Maybe it's a translation issue, I'm not too sure. But speaking of translation issues, the other subtitle version I found has it as the Angel of Cherub, not Helheim. Which in Christianity, the cherubs serve the will of God, so I don't know which one it's meant to be. But either way, Index has made a clear effort to tie in a lot of real-world elements into its magic. One thing I will say is, there isn't, at least as far as I can tell, any sort of underlying theme or through line to them. They appear to just be a list of references that have no connection whatsoever. Having said that, there may be answers to this in the future. But back to the story, the only real thing I question in this ritual is Kamui's asked to picture a golden angel. But the angel she creates is actually white. It's not a big issue or anything, I just find it a little odd that they went this way with it. The next day, Toma is back at the house and asks Kamui whether she is going to tell the governing board of Academy City what has happened. Kamui is intending to let them know about the incident and Toma convinces her not to. The thing about this is Kamui makes a genuinely good case as to why she must tell the board. She's concerned about the safety of her student, claiming it's a teacher's duty to step in and help, and that she isn't stupid enough to stand by and do nothing. These are some strong statements, ones that tie into both her convictions as a character and her responsibilities as a teacher. Or at least, they should be, considering her student is in potentially life-threatening danger, so it's not great for her character to drop these concerns so easily. Especially for Toma's argument, which is confusing. Toma's position is he wouldn't hesitate to involve her if she was a complete stranger, but since she is in her debt, she wants to keep her out of it. Kamui thinks this is really cool. I disagree. I will preface this by saying that with the potential danger of the situation and not knowing how the board will respond to Index, I totally understand him not wanting either of them involved. But it's the reason he gives Kamui that falls flat. This whole idea of being completely fine with involving random strangers is weird. You go into it with a blank slate. You basically have no idea how they will react or what they will do. You can guess a bit based on limited information, for example, what you see. When looking at Yomikawa's uniform, you'd imagine she'd respond better than this random girl. But you still don't know if they would have your interests at heart or some other priority that they wish to uphold. You also threaten their safety, putting their life in danger, and I hate this idea that it's okay because you don't know them. If it was a random adult, involving them could get them killed, and you are guessing about who they are and how they will handle things. You could, for instance, end up getting a mother or father killed. It's a tough decision, one that should require caution before making. Yet Toma says he wouldn't even hesitate to get them involved, which is something I don't think Toma would do anyway. Now again, I understand not wanting Kamui involved because of the danger, but at least with a person you know, you're much more in tune with how they will react and if they can take care of themselves. Not only that, but you are much more likely to know if they have a vested interest in you and be willing to assist. The other question raised by Toma's own logic is, should Index stop involving him? Should she go into more detail about what's going on now that they know each other? By his own statement, Index really shouldn't continue to tell him anything, and I doubt he would be okay with being left in the dark if he knew someone close to him was in trouble. In the end, there's no issue with the conclusion that was reached, there's a problem with the argument used to get there. The reason he gives Kamui is not good enough, and it baffles me that she would think this statement was cool, when the position she holds is much stronger. But I guess it works. Kamui leaves to go shopping and doesn't bring it up again. So with Kamui gone, Index tells Toma more about magic and the burden she is carrying. In the first 3 episodes, we've had 2 exposition dumps between people sitting down and talking. The first had a bit more going for it than just straight information dumping. Their interaction was a bit more dynamic. This time though, there is less. Which brings up something I want to discuss. From what I can tell, the science side of the world is more popular than the magic side, and although I think there's quite a few reasons for this, I do think the long exposition dumps is one of them. The science side seems to avoid doing this. It doesn't rely as much on heavy dialogue scenes, and long information dumps can certainly hurt an audience's engagement. In the meantime, Style and Kanzaki are watching Index, and Kanzaki reveals what she has discovered about Toma's right hand, including his ability level, which means I have to admit a mistake I made in the last video. I said Style didn't view Toma as any sort of threat when he entered the fight. This is because I thought he knew Toma's level, but no, he didn't. He just assumed Toma would be no match for him. I actually ended up giving him more credit than he deserved. As a professional with an incredibly important job, he simply guessed he would beat Toma. So, that's not great. But to be fair, it's also not great of me to have gotten that wrong. Anyway, what I do like in this scene is there is a hint something is amiss with Style and Kanzaki's understanding of the situation. They're both surprised Index has been healed, thinking only another mage could have done it, as magic would have been required. But John's pen assisted Kamui with the ritual, implying they seem to be unaware of it. It's an early sign that things aren't exactly the way they think they are. Later, Index and Toma are heading to a bathhouse. Unfortunately, before they get there, an argument ensues and they separate. A rune activates near Toma to remove the people in the area, and he's confronted by Kanzaki. The main problem I have with this is Toma is way too casual. There's a real sense of urgency missing from him. Index told him on more than one occasion how valuable the grimoires are. She even said they're the greatest source of impure magic, yet he leaves her alone. Not only that, but he seems to have moved pretty far away. He has no idea what his opponents are capable of, so he shouldn't be okay with just leaving her by herself. He is lucky Kanzaki came here instead of just skipping him and going straight to the bathhouse. And for Toma, that's a twofold issue. The luck hurts the quality of the plot progression, and it damages the idea of him being misfortunate. If Toma had to pick between Kanzaki confronting him or confronting Index, he would absolutely choose himself, and so he has avoided getting badly punished for his lack of urgency. Well, that's actually it for this episode. I did say this one would be shorter than the others, however I think, and I'm not completely certain as I write this, but I think the next episode will be the longest one yet, so hopefully that will make up for it a bit. Having said that, the next video on this channel may not be about Index, as I plan to take a 1 video break from the series before continuing it. So join me next time as Toma has to fight an opponent with a point of difference. Until then, thanks for watching.